All right, guys, welcome back for another episode of Just a Couple Dudes. We've got Jeff, we've got newcomer John, and obviously I'm Tony, your favorite. A lot to cover. A lot to cover. NFL free agency just started today. A lot has dropped. Just real quick before we get into each individual one. First thought of free agency so far, Jeff?
I think the Patriots have had some good defensive pickups, but it's an offensive scoring league. So just because you can stop the other team to 10 points, if you can't score more than 3, that doesn't really matter. Fields going to the Jets is probably one of the best pickups so far, I think. Any team probably had.
I'm a Fields fan. I've been a Fields fan for a few years. I like that one. John, your Ravens haven't done anything. I haven't seen a lick of free agency from you guys. Anything stand out to you so far?
Well, besides the fact that they just don't want to pick anybody up, I mean, what positions do you, as long as we can kind of retain the same team, I feel like we can kind of run it back, but it's whether or not we can retain the same team. So most of the free agency stuff we just like to watch go by, apparently. So
yeah, you guys are right there anyway. So like, if you can try to keep that core together,
yeah.
I personally think you guys need another receiver. Beckham, that you guys have tried to plug and play those other dudes, I don't think is it.
I think
I don't
we
think.
strengthen the secondary though. You don't agree? Over
Yeah,
receiving core?
I agree. But the way Lamar and that offense has been looking, they're looking to throw a little bit more. Maybe. You know what I mean, I don't think Andrews is going to have concrete hands again, right, all year.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it's one of those things where
But
it's
he's
like
also another year older, though.
yeah, and
Like,
Isaiah likely is stepping up quite a bit. So it's one of those things where it's like I know that that's like a highlight where it's like a super spotlight on one massive error the guy's made. But like honestly, do you hear the name Andrews as often as you probably should? Maybe not really. So I don't
Now
know if
he's
he's
a
like
tight end.
you know
but
what
even
might
He's a tight end. He's hit that cliff. Kelsey's hit that cliff. It's. I mean,
yeah,
it is what
it's
it is. Not
it's a safe
everyone is Gronk.
it's a safety blanket position, but I feel like he hasn't been the Mark Andrews that we went to go watch that in February a couple years
not
back.
only Mark Andrews, also Justin Tucker, who was abysmal
Dude,
last
it's one
season
of
as
those.
well.
It's like a curse. It's a curse. If he misses a kick in the game, it's like you're already going into it like I don't know, bro. Probably already took
Nah,
him out.
You know what
you
might
want
help,
now, but
though?
you want to know? No, Jeff. You want to know what Justin Tucker did not miss? Any of those appointments at those massage parlors. Is all that's happening.
Listen. You can't be digging up stuff from like 10 years in the past. Let the guy live.
Yeah, you can.
You know what might help, though, the Ravens this year? Which is kind of like a two-parter in a way. Sam Hubbard retiring on the Bengals.
I
Who
don't
is
think
probably...
the Bengals. I don't feel like is a massive like issue for us right now. I feel like the Ravens kind of got in their own way. The reason why we lost the playoff game is because we literally had 3 turnovers. It's like clean up the game, retain the same team, and hope that the Steelers don't, outshine you now that they got, a better receiving core and they're trying to clean up their, head office.
Well, they got... Probably talk about this in a little bit, but they got DK today.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They get DK.
But
They get rid of well, sorry.
what is that, the
Oh,
NFC North?
oh.
NFC North.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, can
yeah,
see.
good,
Oh,
good.
okay. No, my screen, like my whole monitor just froze for a second. Yeah, it's like totally
NFC North looks. I mean, what's foul on the Bengals is T. Higgins getting franchise tag back-to-back years.
it's disgusting.
Like, you either have to sign him to a
Is he
deal.
worth it?
Yeah.
Is he worth it?
I'm not saying if he's not. I mean, I think he's
Dude,
one
he
of
is
those.
a wide receiver 1, and you know it. He can go on any team and increase their productivity. And
The problem, what works well though for the Bengals is with T. Higgins in like a number 2 or a slot role, you take pressure away from Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't really double all the time Jamar Chase when you have like T. Higgins still out there on the other side.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to piss off your franchise quarterback and stud receiver. They're both friends. You don't want to piss them off because then it'll become a snowball effect that one wants to leave, the other one wants to go.
Yeah.
Bengals become what they've always been.
Well, Jamar Chase is going to want like the highest wide receiver contract, so he's probably aiming for like 40 million. There's no way you're going to be able to keep him, pay him that. You got Burrow, and then you're going to franchise tag this guy for an extra year just to see where you can go.
And the franchise tag is still like good money or something, right? It's
but it's a 2-year thing where you kind of get shafted, like you really get shafted.
You don't have a contract really.
You do it to him twice, dude. I don't know.
Can he break from a franchise tag? Can you pretty much just sit out and just say I'm not playing?
No, maybe, but I know he definitely can't be traded. He can't go what he wants, and he can't get the money he wants. He's stuck there twice. It's rough.
I wish, and I like the move that DK Metcalf made, and I wish Megatron kind of did the same thing. Like, you're not going to do anything in Seattle.
Yeah. Maybe they won't throw the ball.
I love how it was, hey, I'm not happy in Seattle. I don't want to be part of a rebuild, right? I want to go to a contender, and the report came out earlier today. Hey, I want to go somewhere that's warm. And then you literally go on the complete opposite side. I don't get it. Good for the Seahawks for getting what they got, but
how much did he get for his contract from the
Seahawks? Second round pick, I believe
it's not a bad comp even for a wide receiver to get a second rounder.
No, you know what I mean. He's going to be better than any second round receiver you're going to get anyway. Like, let's be real.
But the problem is, can the Steelers? I mean, I don't like. Steelers just lost Justin Fields. We said he went to the Jets, and now you still have what's his name, the quarterback for the Steelers,
Wilson.
Yeah,
he's a free agent.
Oh,
he's a free agent. They do not. They don't have a quarterback. Chris Boswell, the kicker, posted like a meme that he's the QB1 right now. Like,
wouldn't it be crazy?
It's gonna be Rodgers. Let's be real. It's gonna be Rodgers.
Wouldn't it be crazy to see if DK went to the Bucks?
I mean,
would have been nice.
I feel like doesn't he kind of play like a comparable role to Evans as is though?
Yeah.
Outside,
he's bigger. He's an end zone threat.
He's probably. I mean, he'd be the biggest. Like that's who you throw to the end zone in like the corner.
Yes, that's kind of like Evans' thing.
But you get somebody like that. You have a 1-2 with him and Evans. Then you put Godwin in the slot either. Yeah. So then that frees up Godwin from taking the number 2 role, which maybe he wouldn't be happy about because wide receivers are divas. But Godwin, he tear his ACL or something, or broke his ankle or something last year.
Yep, tore his ACL like 2 years ago, I believe.
So like, that's somebody that would definitely benefit from.
But he would definitely Metcalf's already kind of shown that he can be a diva. So it's like he'd be going into there, and then obviously he would be expecting some productivity. But
that's all. I mean, that's all though. Wide receiver ones, they don't want to go to a team and not like. If you're a wide receiver 1, you're probably expecting what, Tony, 70 to 100 catches a year, around at minimum.
Biggest hoping he would go to you.
Biggest surprise though was the report that Patriots pretty much didn't even make an offer of a trade for him and then now reports are coming out they didn't think he was a good culture fit, a good locker room fit, how he would fit in, which I get, especially with the young quarterback and the young players they have. But Patriots are notorious for drafting very poorly for receivers. You can't land anyone. They just offered Chris Godwin an extra $20 million. And he still turned it down and re-signed with the Bucks because we're the Patriots and we're not great right now, so no one wants to come here. And then you have a chance to go get this dude. Don't get me wrong, he wanted a contender. We're not that. But you would have thought Patriots would have at least maybe put on the full court press, a little bit of motivation. But no, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are thinking they're going to score big on the offensive side in the draft.
Unless they're leaning Hunter. Travis Hunter, if that's what it's looking like, why would you go get DK, right?
But I think in general, like from what I understand in this draft, like the first 2-3 rounds is loaded with like receivers. So if you think like, let me use free agency to load up on defense and use
like
the draft, and use the draft to load up on, the offensive side. Like, yeah, you're going to pay them cheaper, right? Coming out of college. You pay them rookie minimums pretty much for their position, even though first rounders still get paid pretty well. Can we talk about in general, like all the sports, like now that college players are actually staying in college longer because they get better NIL money than first round money? Like like Division One.
The NIL is literally changing everything about the game. Players are staying longer because it's not even worth for them to come out. Specifically, like college basketball, they are pretty much making more money with NIL compared to WNBA.
Well, what was it? What team was I watching? I forgot the team, but he was like, pretty much now every year there's about 50% of the team that is contemplating on moving to another team to get better NIL money. So every year, 50% of that team is pretty much leaving because they can go elsewhere to get more money.
And then the better teams obviously have more opportunities for the money.
Yeah.
Right? So like
the bigger the teams, the better. Yeah.
Exactly. Like every year those teams are going to snowball and they're always going to be huge.
Like if you're a good football player, right? You go to like Alabama, Georgia, LSU, probably Clemson, like those big football programs, because if you can get NIL, like if you're a good player, you get NIL, you're going to get a bigger bag there than like playing at Boston College.
Just easiest breakdown. So like let's say for reference, NBA first overall pick makes about 10 million the first 2 years of the contract and about 11 million the third, right? Cooper Flag, who is the consensus number one player in the country right now, is making $5 million in NIL. Before endorsements, before anything else. He's already making 5.
He's not even making 10. He's probably making double that with endorsements and everything.
Yeah. Yep. He could stay in college he's not going to, but he could for 2 to 3 years, make pretty much what he would make his rookie year, and he could pretty much dictate where he's going to go in the NBA, because depending on how the season looks, he can just
because back in the day, you didn't want to get injured in college, so you went to the professionals to get money. But now that you have money in college, you can be more choosy.
Would you change it back?
I leave it in? No, I like the NIL because I don't like how colleges how they used to get so much money from the likeness and names of these players, but yet these players were eating ramen because they couldn't afford to do anything.
Let's say you go on the Texas website years ago, you could buy a football jersey with your favorite player's name on the back, like the quarterback. Like, you're clearly profiting off these players.
Yeah.
But now they're getting their cut now. Like Archie Manning, right? He's one of the, obviously everyone knows who he is because he's related to the Mannings, obviously. He's got like almost $7 million worth of NIL. And he barely played. Like
have you seen him throw the ball though? He's one of the best passers I've seen in college.
It's
so pretty. Better. I mean, he's a Manning, so he's just going to be great in the NFL anyways. But like, how did the genes just keep going down? And they just
he didn't inherit that interception genes. I'm just saying.
Or that noodle arm. Eventually, it turns into. But. But honestly, it's one of those things. But I know we were talking about before with like the rookie deals and the contracts, right? That one of the things I did want to talk about it has to be the Commanders. I know it's kind of further down the list about what we had to talk about, but the Commanders, right? What's been the blueprint for years? It's you get a rookie quarterback, he plays well, you build around him. That's exactly what happened with the Rams when they loaded up on defense. Commanders have now traded for they traded for Debo, right? They gave another weapon to go along with Scary Terry. So they're going all in, and then they just traded for one of the best tackles in the game, Tunsil, from the Texans, which I don't understand it from a Texans perspective because you have a young quarterback in CJ Stroud that you should be protecting, and you just got rid of Tunsil. So I like the Commanders. What they're doing, and then they're second in the division for odds. I looked it up before we hopped on. They're plus 200 to win the division right now.
Which, if they're right behind the Eagles, which again on free agency, Eagles lost a few key defensive players so far in free agency. Who knows if AJ Brown is still going to stay?
Yeah,
I know he won a championship, and I know he was a little disgruntled reading a book on the sidelines, but like.
Well,
These
their
are how
locker room drama
championship
hasn't ended
teams.
either.
Yeah.
Have you seen the stuff with Slay? Slay's taking shots at Jalen Hurts as well.
There's a
Well,
lot
he's
of
gone now.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he left.
Yeah.
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 I think their outside tackle left as well. Like that's how championship teams like just fall apart. Half the people leave for more money, and you can't replace it.
But the
So
Commanders
We
have
had
looked like a super
a
exciting
plus
team.
200 is a solid
yeah.
bet for them to
Well,
take.
like last year, dude, like watching them was like, all right, there's certain teams you're gonna want to watch, certain teams you might not want to,
Ah,
especially if you have something going on. The Commanders are one of the teams. I
Commanders
wanna
are a good
watch.
team to watch.
Yeah.
yep. Honestly, like as much as you don't like him now because he's just older, but like Austin Eckler was a good fit there. He was like a nice safety valve for the quarterback. It'll be a good season to go. They need to fix that defense though. You can't be giving up 45 points and expect to stay in the game. That's not going to get you anywhere.
I mean, look
But
what happened. Look
my
what happened in the playoffs.
My favorite story probably has to be I don't know how we feel about it yet, but just a heist of just stealing money from the Seahawks. Sam Darnold, 3 years, 100 million, 50 guaranteed.
With no one to throw
A
to now
decent year.
besides
Exactly. No one to throw to. He had a good year, somewhat good year until the very end, where Sam Darnold became Sam Darnold, but
Turned out
50
to-
million.
it's like Fitzpatrick.
50 million.
Fitzpatrick was the same way. Could go on runs that you're like, this dude is probably one of the best quarterbacks
Yeah.
out there. And then you'd have a game and you'll be like, yeah.
But
That's
that's like, all right. Think about the options that he had with him, dude. He's throwing to Jefferson. He's throwing to Hawkinson. He's throwing to Addison. It's all the sons that are on that team, and like
Aaron Jones
he-
running the ball.
he's throwing to people that are going to elevate his play. Now he's going to go where there's no one. So
He's back in the Jet situation.
it's like, yeah. I mean,
And he knows he has 50 million guaranteed. So when you really think about it, yeah, it's probably backloaded the other 50. So he's definitely going to be there 2 years. He's still going to get his 50 million. What, they're going to cut him in year 3? And he gets some incentives, probably makes another 10 or 20 million.
But like,
Goes
but
back.
why? Don't they still have Howell
Yeah.
that they just got last year? Why are you spending 50 million? Clearly, you're done. You already released Tyler Lockett. You got rid of Metcalf. What are you doing? You have no offense essentially.
yeah.
Who's their number one now? What's his name?
The JSN.
Yeah, Jackson Smith Najibba.
In Jigba.
Yep,
That's
that's
crazy.
the alphabet.
And then like you said too, that's a massive contract.
Well, that
You had
was-
Fields going to the Jets for pretty much all guaranteed money.
that was
40
like
million.
that, like the Carolina Panthers when they basically sold off their entire team. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, I understand the whole rebuild thing, but like, what are you trying to start from scratch? You need something.
You know what
They
I
have
am?
nothing.
You know the only contract that I am happy for is Saquon.
Yeah,
That's
you
probably
can't
the only
do
one.
that.
I'm not.
You want what, more or less?
No, stop paying running backs. They're a dime a dozen. Get
I
one in
don't
the
think
draft.
so.
Don't pay them bad.
I just don't think so.
That's
how
the
can you say
Patriot
that?
way. That's the Patriot
How-
way right there.
How can you say that when
Hell yeah.
when you have someone who can go out there and perform like that, and then like not just him, but he has people like Derrick Henry? Would you even consider those people in the same ball game as some of these dime a dozen?
You take any other running back that's in the same caliber and put him on that Eagles team, and they would have done the same exact thing.
I don't believe.
I
so,
don't-
dude. He's too,
I mean,
he's too
maybe-
dynamic. He's way too dynamic. Not like I'm sure he could do
But
well. Is
but
fine.
he's
But there's a difference
dynamic.
between well and then fucking Saquon Barkley, like almost breaking the running record. They literally prevented him from.
I think
You're
someone could probably do 70%, but I don't. There's not too many.
It's a system. It's a
I
system.
think he needs to re-see the photo of Saquon Barkley like rear-ending leap over the dude.
Nah,
I mean,
I'm telling you,
I guarantee you could take 20 running backs, and they could probably you'll have one that's really good, and the other 19. Like one's probably shitty, and the other 18 does 80% of what that number one guy can do. That's really good. So yeah, it's like a numbers game. But if you do have that one that's that talent level, like an Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch,
Saquon
Saquon, I feel like you pay them. I agree. If you don't have those guys, You
You
don't.
notice.
You just get somebody else in the draft or whatnot. Because I mean, you just get like a Georgia running back or an Alabama running back and call it a day. And then
But
after
you're not
their
wrong.
and
I
after
can
their
understand
rookie contract,
Sorry.
send them off somewhere. What were you gonna say,
See, even
John?
that. No, I kept like talking over you. I was gonna say like I understand like you could fit in a lot of different running backs into that like basically committee type style running thing, but like certain productivities from certain players are just like elevated by I don't know. I don't know what the like what was the massive thing for him where he would go from obviously one team to a next and then just be able to perform at such a level where it's like everybody who knew he could perform that way knew the whole time. And obviously you can be like, yeah, well, he was on the Giants. The Giants are trash. I get that. And the Eagles are great. But like, dude, the level of increase in productivity is astronomical.
Like if you put every running back in the league, like all the starting running backs, I think maybe only one other one might come close to what he did. And the other
I completely disagree. It's just a system quarterback, just like it is with the Ravens. By having the mobile quarterback opens up the field so much more for the running back, so they don't have to do as much.
But
You
I mean,
don't
you
have the
look
stacked box.
but look
You don't
at but I mean you get
Stevenson.
to
Take
you get
Stevenson from the Patriots. You put him there. You'll
Right.
get. I'm not saying you're going to get
you'll
2,000
get half the
yards.
yard you'll get
still
half the yards.
So what is the line? Give me a name, Tony. Try to find a name. Give me the line where it's like, all right, now you're pushing it where you're like, that's he wouldn't even be able to succeed in that offense. That specific offense, the Eagles' offense of last year.
like a running back there that wouldn't be able to do well.
A running back that you could name off the top of your head that's like, all right, that bar is like not going to work.
I mean, while Tony finds one, I mean, you look at the
He's gonna be
Ravens,
there a
right?
while.
You
He'll be there
look
a
at the Ravens with Lamar and King Henry, and obviously they're two studs, and even King Henry played very well, very well.
Yeah.
But he didn't do Saquon,
No, not even.
so
Like,
and he's one of the best running backs.
They also. I don't believe they also rushed him as many times as
they
well.
definitely didn't rush him as many as they should have in the last playoff game. But I'm just gonna say,
I totally agree with that, but like you
like
look at
16
these,
rushes, a little
you
rough.
still look at these stud, top 5 running backs in the league, and it's like one's at the top of Mount Everest, and the other 4 are just starting to decline.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like when you see that, it's like if you're not going to pay him, he's going to go to another team that's gonna.
But I do see the.
I would
other
honestly say, I'm looking at the top leaders of all of like the NFL rushing. Like I would have to, I mean, I would say like a Najee Harris, a Joe Mixon, Swift. That's kind of the line I would draw.
Yeah,
But someone like Aaron Jones would have a great season. Kyren Williams would have a phenomenal season. Gibbs, Jacobs, Taylor, those are all great.
yeah, but see all those names, but like I'm still waiting for one where I could be like, yeah, he's kind of compared.
I feel like they'll
But, like,
all have great seasons, but like when you're talking like a top 5 all time since the NFL started season,
take someone like the Devon Achane from the Dolphins, put him on the same exact offense, having the same opportunities with the same holes that Barkley gets.
can we go around the? Can we play around the horn and I could just mute Tony because that's a wild statement.
It is
that he would just say Devon.
Hold on, might have to pull up his deadlift numbers again. Let me see what Achane's deadlift numbers are.
What is Saquon doing? Like 600 pounds.
600 pounds, leg dude, as a monster.
Devon Achane averaged 4.5 yards a carry on a team that had no offense for most of it.
Yeah, but how many of those are his just bullet runs? He goes right through and he's getting these massive rushes.
He still did it with a stacked box.
I mean, I guess.
What do you mean?
The running back for the Patriots, what did he average last year?
Stevenson?
Yeah, Stevenson.
He averaged in 15 games 3.9 yards.
On average?
He was number 26.
So
he had 181 yards rushing with 207 rushing attempts.
So what was Saquon's average this year?
He had 5.8 at 345 attempts.
Was he the best?
Derek,
I think Derek is 5.4.
For attempts, he had by far the most attempts. The next closest is Derrick Henry at 325 with an extra game.
Derrick Henry was what, 5.5 average?
5.9. He had a higher average.
Oh, he had 5.9, really?
So Barkley,
because when
Henry had an extra
He just
game
falls
too,
forward
and
and gets the
this
extra
other
he
guy
just
still
falls
had-
forward and gets 3 yards. What are we talking about here? Guy, he's trying to tackle a Mack truck. That dude. I wouldn't even.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'd be
Tell that to
going
the
on
play
just.
caller back in that playoff game. It's cold out and you got a beast of a running back, aka the Yeti. I'm sure you've heard that nickname, but yeah, let's only rush him 16 times or whatever. Like
Do
If he
we?
was on the
waking up
Eagles,
in
he
the
would have
middle
gotten
of the
those
night.
carries.
Waking
Do
up
we-
in the middle of the night, 16 carries.
Do we really think the Rams are gonna cut Cooper Kupp for
Yes.
Devontae Adams?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why? Why wouldn't you just pay him a veteran minimum?
Why would he take that? I wouldn't.
What,
You've
wouldn't
earned your due. You've helped win a Super Bowl for that team. Why would you play for the minimum? Because if he gets cut, he's gonna go sign elsewhere. Someone else is gonna give him a chance, even with the bum knees.
Oh, for sure they will. But I mean, I don't see him sticking there as much longer. How many more years are you going to get productivity out of him? He's already
Well,
Not
declined
much.
crazy. He's already
The
declined
rumor
crazy.
is, yeah. So it's already come out today that they're most likely going to cut him before the official year starts.
Mhm. Well, they still got Puka on a rookie contract. They just got who you just
Avante.
said Devontae. It's like they got
But
guys.
Devontae, I don't think Devontae is like
A good fit.
He's
for
better
that
than
team.
Cup.
He's
better
better
than
than
Cup right now because Cup is not healthy. That's
Yeah.
the caveat.
Give Devontae a couple more years and he'll try every goddamn team in the league. He'll find a fit.
what is it like Jennifer Lopez with all her engagement
That
rings?
poor that poor guy's been getting shafted for so long. You go to want to play with your college roommate, they cut him. You go to want to be like, all right, fine, I'm gonna go back play back with Aaron. Then they cut him. It's just like this poor dude is just chasing it so bad.
He should have just stood in Las Vegas.
100%. Well, I mean, for him, he's like, oh, I get it. Like, it's a gamble to want to go play with Aaron because how many years has it been since you've had?
Aaron hasn't been good in like 4 years.
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
honestly,
He's got the nostalgia. He got the glasses on. He went to go play with Aaron. You saw the productivity. It wasn't exactly anything stellar to talk about. And then now you're gone and you're essentially chasing another team. How many years did they give him for the deal?
And I do need to say that I just looked it up. As of 3 hours ago, Sports Illustrated is reporting that they are going to cut Cooper Kupp as of Wednesday, because there is a clause in his contract that he would earn 7.5 million roster bonus on March 17th, and 5 million of that is guaranteed. So they would cut him and take on 22 million of dead money.
Wow.
which is
And Cooper Kupp is going to go make more than 5 million on the market. Anyway, the Patriots will probably get him. That screams Mike
which is
Vrabel.
which is crazy. But
Hey, it's
Who's
good
the-
for you.
Nah,
I don't
really?
know.
I mean,
For
why
what?
not? Why
For
not?
8 games?
Why not?
Cooper
For 8
Kupp.
games?
Cooper, you know what Cooper Kupp would honestly be good? He needs to be in a system like the Bucks, where he's the third or fourth option, and you're not getting doubled because you put him on the Patriots.
You know-
he's the only guy
You
on the
wouldn't-
team.
You wouldn't put him on the Patriots for $5 million.
No,
No.
who do we have to throw
Be-
to?
Yeah, him.
Honestly,
Yeah, him. So he's gonna get doubled,
Honestly-
and he's not gonna do anything.
he would be a good fit on the Ravens. Be the number 2, number 3, and he's good.
He needs to be a number 3. I don't even think a number 2.
I would take Cup over some of my people. Like I mean,
And to me, Cup is like I feel like he's a number 3, and he might get 3 or 4 catches a game. But I know if I'm going to him those 3 or 4 times, there's a very high probability that he's catching.
He won't drop the pass in the end zone to lose the game.
Yeah.
in the Ravens analogy, would you take him over Bateman? Because I would.
Yeah,
Bateman.
I would.
And Bateman's a 2.
I would.
You're saying 3, so he would be 2.
I like him at the 3 because generally at the 3 you're not going to get the safety high coverage help.
But in that specific instance where I'm talking about Bateman over Bateman, would you rather take?
Probably over Bateman, but I would love for him to be in a number 3 or slot situation where you're going to get behind a linebacker or you're going out for a little slant where you're not getting you're either beating a middle linebacker or you're beating someone in zone.
Why? You know where he's the perfect fit? Being the third option on the Chiefs, behind the 2 felons, the Worthy and Rice. Being
First
the third
of
option.
all, I know we had Worthy on here, but as more information came out, I don't know if you guys have,
acquitted of that. I
first.
believe. He has
So
no
what
message.
happened? He came home and supposedly caught his fiance cheating, and he told her multiple times to leave the house, and she started screaming at him and then called the cops and said, from what I read, that he was being verbally abusive, and the cops arrested
Jeff,
him.
Yeah, that's
Jeff,
also
I gotta
heard.
stop you. Are you trying to reason with Worthy where the report is that he made them stop breathing? He choked them out?
Who?
It says
Worthy.
that in the police report. Because I heard the same
I-
thing Jeff did, is that he.
All I'm
that
saying
his
is when
daughter
the
was
I've
involved.
seen that too.
the multiple sources that I saw, like on just multiple different, like on Reddit and Twitter and stuff like that,
Mhm.
from like people that actually like do sports for a living. From what I understand, he didn't assault his fiance. From what they are saying. Now I'm just going off of what they're saying, but he came home, found out she was cheating. He told her to leave. She didn't leave, and then called the cops on him.
So, so I was obviously I looked it up. So they're not bringing a case. The DA has already said they're not bringing a case against him. So the question is, do you think the NFL does anything? Because you know how the NFL is. Anytime there's any kind of legal problem,
To me,
magically.
though, it's not a legal problem anymore. If they
Yeah,
drop the
if
case,
he's fully in, so they drop the case. They got nothing to go off of. Well, they're going to punish him for what?
Just
Because it looks
you
bad?
know,
most
the-
teams
accusation?
most teams
the
during the
NFL has
season,
a hard on.
most teams during the
accusations?
season, if you
That's
got
right.
arrested during the season and until stuff came out, a lot of times they would just say, you know, they'd make a post on whatever Facebook or whatever saying, you know, until you know more information comes to light, we're gonna just internally investigate or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But it's the off season. He got arrested for one day, got let go after one day, and then all the charges were dropped, and it came out saying he didn't do anything, and the DA is not going against him. I don't think the NFL. What are you gonna suspend him for or fine him?
Yeah.
Because that
He's
just
going
means
after-
anybody that gets arrested for anything, even if they didn't do it, is just going to get fined
Right.
by one of these, you know, sports organizations.
They could, you know, what I mean, with the NFL, and they have a hard on for domestic violence and like,
Oh yeah,
always
totally.
something like a random day on a game or two or whatever being fined. But at what point do we start looking at the Chiefs themselves? Andy Reid can't even keep his own like coaching staff and family in check with crimes, and his whole a bunch of players now. How many players have been arrested with the Chiefs over the last few years? Not including Rice. Rice and Worthy got arrested. I know it got dropped, but it keeps happening.
Is it worse than players on Las Vegas killing people?
Yeah, I shouldn't be laughing. That's crazy.
I mean, I
But,
think these players they have
honestly, I have no leg to stand on Jeff at all. Being a Patriots fan with a murderer, so I have no leg to stand.
I think it's when you look at like the socioeconomic issues, right? A lot of these professional athletes sometimes didn't come from like the best education or best like neighborhoods and stuff, and then they make it big, and then they get all this money and they can kind of do whatever they want. And then you know it leads them a lot of times to some bad decisions. So I don't know if it's just like maybe these sports organizations get like some like I want to say mentorship programs, but like something like you have a lot of money now, you have a lot of responsibility, you're in the public light, like let's go to these classes to help you with like your public image and what not to do and stuff. Because obviously you're making the league look bad, even though you get acquitted, you still make the league look bad. So I don't know.
I think that's actually not a bad idea at all. Each team could do it their own way, and it's not like they would have to hire from outside. I'm sure they have the
If
coaching
we-
staff that can work with them.
Let's play a quick game, very quick. If you had to guess which NFL team has the most arrests since 2000, who would you guess? I'll give you a hint. It's a team that probably players don't really enjoy going to because there's not much of a nightlife.
I would have imagined, not much of a nightlife.
I would have to imagine, right? Because what else are you gonna do? And what are you gonna do?
Browns?
What are you gonna do in this state besides beat people up? Beat people up.
I'll say Cincinnati. I don't know, but I'll say Cincinnati, and I think John's
you're
going
close.
to Browns.
You're
Yeah,
close,
I said
Jeff.
the
You're third. Cincinnati Bengals 41 arrests. Browns are 39. Coming in at number one with a whopping 56 is the Minnesota Vikings.
You know what? I was gonna
Okay,
go
I
Green.
don't
Where's
know.
Green Bay on that list? Because I was gonna go Green Bay too. They got to be up there, top 10.
They're too busy eating cheese. I don't know. They're not even in the top 14.
Oh, I would think like there's nothing to like.
Who
Even
was
Aaron
two? You
Rodgers
said-
said. Even Aaron Rodgers was like, no one comes to Green Bay to play at
So-
Green Bay. They come to play with me.
It's Vikings at 56, Broncos at 51,
I would
Bengals
not
at
guess
41,
that either.
Because they got no
Jacksonville at
oxygen.
41, and the Chiefs with 40. Tied. It's tied with a couple others at 40.
Remember that cringe Duval.
Oh,
That guy.
how long does that dude last? A year? Two?
Two.
No
You
way.
get-
You think two.
no,
You
well,
get
I
one freebie. You get one
I think
freebie.
I think automatically you give them
Just
that
one
1
freebie.
year. So like I'm going to.
Yeah, I agree.
Just his face. I want him fired now.
Switching it up.
I don't know anything about him.
I just saw today, getting out of this sports realm, that Warzone Season 3 was delayed, but now they have a release date of April 4th, which is Season 3, which everybody was waiting for, was because they're coming back out with Verdansk, the original Warzone map. I think gaming's been in a little bit of a lull lately. And how I know that is because I've been playing golf. Not physically,
It's a good,
virtually.
It's a good barometer. Pretty good barometer.
It's a good. If there's nothing like, I hate like, I beat, which is obviously this a little bit ago. I beat Dragon Age, but then they came out and said there was no DLC for the game, and it's like, well,
PlayStation for free.
Yeah, and then also like, a lot of these games, like even like we're going back like 2 years, Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, no DLC, and we're not putting in Quidditch. It's like, so once I beat it, that's like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like role playing with another character because I already know
no.
everything that's gonna happen.
Yep.
Not what I heard.
This guy. Listen, let him finish his monologue, bro.
I enjoy. I know Dragon Age got a lot of hate, but the only one thing I hated, you would like really be in some knee deep shit in that game, and then one of my guys would be like, "So like your race, they're like non-binary, right?" And I'm like, "Yo, we're fighting like demon like robots right now. And you're talking about how like your demon is like non-binary."
I heard that the game had a lot of moments that felt like you were in therapy. Like the game is letting you know, like, you're strong, you can do it. Don't let anybody talk you down. It's like
I think if you can get by those very few moments and those little like conversations when you're walking around and then talk about that stuff, that game is still like a solid like 9 out of 10. Like it's a really good game.
Here's a real question: did you pay for it, or was it Game Pass?
Pays for Game Pass.
I pay for Game Pass, so technically,
would you have spent
Yes.
$70 on it?
yes.
That's crazy.
Really?
I just got to. PlayStation's giving it away, and I still don't want to download it.
I think it's a pretty top tier RPG. First of all,
But
you
did
should
it,
play.
Did it fulfill what you wanted it to do?
Yes.
Or do you feel like it kind of
Story-wise,
good enough, but like
story-wise, this is probably one of the best RPGs I played in years.
Oh, really?
Like I said, if you could get by like the message they're trying to push in the game, which is not like thrown in your face all the time. It's probably like 4 or 5 dialogues that you have, and like the casual like talking that your two guys are having while you're walking through the world. But like the actual story is crazy.
Yeah,
and it's really good.
I
like
kind of want to ask, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Like my top RPG of all time is Witcher 3. Like I think that's the best RPG ever made in the past 20 years.
You know what's no finished? I just platinumed it, and I totally disagree. That game is boring as fuck. But
I think like it's a different like when you're like I don't play like some games I do.
No, hold on. Let me clarify. I always play from start to finish with completely blind. And like obviously The Witcher 3 is old and we've already played it, but I didn't go look up stuff, no guys, no how do I be the fastest, no quick level ups, none of that. Play the game organically, and then I'll go back and finish all the trophies. But like there is a point in that game, like in the beginning it's phenomenal. Story, you cannot deny that The Witcher 3 story is phenomenal. It's just like some of the gameplay itself, it's like playing it now. you
But
could
also
tell it gets dated.
yeah, but also it's a 2013 RPG.
Yeah. It just like going back, I was like, oh, I'm playing.
But when
Witcher
you
3 is gonna be
think of
great, and
like
I'm like,
when you look at games nowadays, especially RPGs, and you look at like probably you're putting maybe two RPGs at like Skyrim or The Witcher 3, and what they
Mhm.
did back in like 2013,
2013. Yeah,
and you see games now like Avowed,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like,
They're still
this
holding
game
up
came out
what they
12
put out.
years later,
Mhm.
and it doesn't nothing put a light to those games, and even and we can even say Witcher 3 had the best mini game that was a game
Yeah,
out of everything with Gwent.
they really did. I wish they would have just made cards and sold them. They could have made so much money.
They
off
did
that.
it virtually, but I'm like, that's like still like
No,
Hearthstone and
they could
stuff.
have
Like it
just
looks
made so much
cool,
money off that.
but like I don't wanna play virtual.
Yeah,
Crazy
well,
fact. I've never played Witcher 3.
it's a great game.
It's a
It's
long
just
game. It's
it's a
long.
very long game, but it's just kind of like I don't
The
know.
problem is
I
you go
just
back and you play it and it's
well, you
like,
build it up in your head for so long. You go back, you're like you're never gonna obviously get what you're expecting especially if you're looking
and
at it
it's
with like
crazy because I
nostalgia
tried to go
glasses.
back and play. I think it was Dragon Age Inquisition after playing Veilguard,
Mm.
and it's just like the controls are so like the game was so good, but like back then, like
Yeah,
whatever it was,
yeah,
2011
yeah.
or
You've progressed
2014.
past that point where you can like, I'm not gonna deal with these like clunky mechanics.
Yeah, and like now at least a lot of games they don't have that clunkiness. But like you look at RPGs from 10 years ago and it's like they were so deep. And you look at RPGs now and it's like it's a shell.
Would all right, so since we're talking about this now, and uh Xbox has already said that they weren't gonna do like a mid like console life refresh. I know you guys both use primarily, well, Jeff, you use primarily PC for gaming. Tony, you use PlayStation, and sometimes you use your computer. Um, there's a lot of talk that like somebody use the PlayStation for this, that the PlayStation 5 is at the end of its life cycle, and it's like
That's everything. It's all the reports. It's that they're all at the end of their life already. It's
you could
what,
probably
what
count. Go ahead, finish. Sorry.
I was gonna say. When did the PS5 come out?
It,
2020. Because I bought one from you at
2020.
Walmart.
That's right. Back then,
but you
but
could
you were
count on like one
already
hand.
Secretly.
5 years. 5 years
Secretly,
in.
I bought from Tony at Walmart at Lawn and Garden checkout.
Facts. Through the back door.
Through the back door. Tony, it was funny. Tony called me and he was like, "We have 5 PS5s here, and if we put it over the intercom or someone sees one, we're gonna have a riot here." So he,
So I'm
if
gonna
you-
make sure to give this to you secretly in the back.
we paid for it. It wasn't given, but
Of course.
I mean, I have all my consoles on the wall. I have all 3, and I have my PS5, my Xbox Series X. I have the actual Switch that you can take off the Joy-Cons, not the light. And actually, behind me, I have 3 Switch lights.
Yeah.
One for
did you get your brothers? Did you buy your brothers?
no. Well, I always
Why
like
do you
I
have-
always
you all have so many Switches. Because I know Chris has like 2 of them. This guy pulls out.
Oh,
like,
he's got the whole
the
rainbow.
assortment pack. What flavor would you like?
once for Bella, once for Chloe, and once for Anna. So,
All right, fair enough. Can't argue with that logic.
but they like during Christmas, they were like $180 or something. Actually, I think I got the refurbished ones from Nintendo that give you a whole warranty again for like 2 years, and they were like $150.
While we're on Nintendo, the Switch, you guys already, I mean, know about the Switch 2, obviously.
We
Do
talked
you
about
see
it.
the yeah, do you see the Switch 2 becoming like anything like outstanding? Because like,
No,
I mean, it does like a lot of like minor stuff. but
Tony
the
and
market value-
we had the discussion about it, and with me, like as a casual Switch user, and like I'll actually play the girls Switch lights sometimes to help
Yeah.
them and stuff like that. Like I don't have the need. Like I don't take the Switch off the dock, so I don't use the screen. So I wouldn't really use the OLED screen because I play it on the. So when we play like Mario Kart, it's on the TV. Like I don't like pull it out and put out its little kickstand. That's impossible to pop
it
open.
does not work at all. Constantly falls over.
No,
But
but I
no,
think Tony does a lot of traveling.
I take mine. Yeah, I take mine on the handheld. I've brought it to hotels. I've brought it overseas. I use it on the go.
Mhm.
And I can tell you from using it on the go, trying to play any games that I'd play on my PlayStation, like MLB The Show, FIFA, they're hot garbage. They look absolutely terrible. They look like PS2 games. So for me, if I can get a Switch 2 that runs PS4 style graphic games, depending on the price point, I'm in. But if you're gonna charge me $450, $500, I'm completely out. I'm not doing that
So
when I can just go buy a real console.
so that was one of the questions I was going to ask, because the chip came out, and it's not obviously going to be comparable to the Xbox Series X and S and the PS5. Like you said, it's going to be more comparable to the previous gen.
So that
Which is
shit's
what
not
I was
comparable.
expecting.
So
The
you're looking at
PS4.
you're looking at 2018 chips then.
Yeah, and I
But
mean,
I'm
I guess
taking it on the go though. I'm buying a Switch to be able to play my games on the go. Like, let's be real. Any Nintendo first party games are never gonna look amazing.
so.
So you're because it's not a deal breaker.
Does it concern you that they're already talking about how, like, when it's on the dock, you get like the more performance slash quality mode, like they have the half and half points
Mhm.
for certain systems have that, like PlayStation. But when you're on handheld, you're basically like forced to be in like the lower power mode, like you can't access the full potential graphics of the system at any point on
So
handheld.
for me, no. My biggest deal breaker with it is that it's not OLED, which is
That was one
it's
of the
such a step
questions I was
back.
going to ask too. I don't understand that.
Such a step back. I get it. You don't go with the OLED right off the rip because you're trying to keep costs down. Then you do a refresh and bring out the OLED. I get that. I understand that. But how do you go
It would
back
have
from
been a good
OLED?
selling point to start from the
Yeah.
OLED, because like you said, once you get to that point, now you're taking something away from your
Yep.
consumer. It's like,
Yep.
you could like, is the Switch 2 enough of a jump up from the Switch OLED that you're going to
Mhm.
spend the extra money when you know you're not going to get what you have in your
Yep.
hand?
And
And
for
like,
the
and everyone's sorry, Jeff. For everyone says, "Oh, hey, there's gonna be more third-party support." They said that about the Switch, and then you have someone like EA, which just literally cookie cutter FIFA game, no updates. It's literally the same game with new rosters every single year, to the point that companies like IGN don't even post like a real review anymore. They're just like, "Hey, take a look at last year's because it's the same exact game." Or NBA 2K, you can play the same game on your mobile device, but because there's no real support besides Ubisoft, who just loves to do whatever, honestly,
Yeah,
because they can
yeah.
make a game to save their life.
To me, you would have. I think I forgot the price point we said, but to me, to go to like the Switch to OLED, just to have like the new one,
Mhm.
I would have to be like a $399 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any need to
I even that $400,
I wouldn't.
considering that a brand new PS5 on launch was 5. You think it's $100 less for a Switch 2
I wouldn't
comparable?
spend more than. I wouldn't even want to do 350 realistically, but that's
Yeah,
350. I could
it's probably
stomach.
what it's gonna co it's probably what it's gonna come out to,
yeah.
anywhere from 3 to 350.
I mean, two
I
ninety
hope it ain't.
nine,
I hope it ain't
two
299.
ninety nine. I'm probably definitely a buy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but at some point, like 299, I'm a buy. Um, but Tony, like I have a PS5 over there, and I have a
Yeah,
Series
it has
X,
to
and
have.
I
It
Well,
has,
have a
at,
place.
it has to
at
have something that you
400,
want to play. You need to have something that
at
you need to draw
400,
people in.
what am I getting? Like realistically, for 400, I don't
Convenience.
understand. I guess.
What did you say? What
And
was
what?
your answer,
And
Joe?
at 400, what am I really getting? Well, I'm gonna get a Mario game every 8 years.
But that's the thing, is Mario doesn't, it's not graphic intensive, dude. You don't need like
Yeah,
a
it's
crazy
not.
chip to play Mario. It's like you need when they create their games, like you said with the third party stuff, all of their third parties has never incorporated any of like the Switch's actual like um
Mhm.
physical stuff, like the Joy-Cons, anything kind of crazy with that. Like, you don't, obviously the Nintendo stuff, they do that. But like when you try to play, for example, say you play a baseball game, right? You're playing the show. Do you get to use the bat with the Joy-Con? No. You use the buttons.
Yeah, but you could, which it's even worse.
Well, the
But
whole
no,
thing when
can
But
you?
the,
I'm asking you, can you?
can you?
I,
Yeah,
I
you
just I
can.
just don't see I just don't see that many, for example, the show I didn't actually know about. But there's a lot of third party games that don't utilize the Switches,
Yeah.
like anything about it. It's just like, oh, we're gonna put it on the Switch because it needs to be on all the systems, but there's no
Yep.
reason for it to be on the Switch.
Yep. But like even some of the games that I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a fun game. Like one of the Resident Evils, one of the later ones. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me go play that. Oh, you have to stream it from the cloud, and then it doesn't. Right? If I'm taking it now on the go, I have to now have Wi-Fi everywhere to be able to play this game because it has to stream from the cloud. Now it's not the true convenience of being able to take it on the go and play it.
What's crazy now that you brought that up? What's crazy? So I just like download like I have like the child's accounts on their switches, and your brother just texted me, Tony, by the way. I have the that's what I was looking over. I downloaded Bella likes like trucks and all that bullshit. So I downloaded a racing game for her. Now this is racing, like it's just like racing on the streets. Tell me, so I brought it with me. I forgot where we were. And she tried to play it, and it was like it required an internet connection. And I'm like, this is a racing game. Like you're only by yourself, and they couldn't. Like I downloaded 2 free games, one for each that they wanted to play, and neither one of them they could play it on the road because it required an internet connection on their Switch line.
Having the DRM on Switch games like that is wild.
This is ridiculous. How much revenue are they really losing for? You know what I mean?
Nintendo just, but like for $400, let's say, right? If I'm gonna play my Switch 2, I doubt I'm gonna be able to talk to my friends again because you still can't do it.
That's a hard pass. $400, dude? Ain't no way.
Like I can't even set up a party system now.
Yeah. They've never nailed that. You have to download an app on your phone to utilize the party chat system,
which is wild.
Now, just to remind you all, we are living in the year of our Lord 2025. So that is unacceptable.
It's just 2025, and then just something similar. MLB The Show, one of the biggest sports releases of the year, still does not have online co-op for franchise with friends. That's all fans. One of the biggest feature requests that fans have been asking for years, and they still don't have it. Why? You can't blame it on the whole Xbox, PlayStation thing because MLB The Show last year was on Game Pass day one. It's not on Game Pass this year, day one. So you can't really say it's because of that conflict. You just clearly don't want to put it in because you're lazy.
Yeah. Well, it's like the tried and true thing. It's like, oh, we have our built-in fan base. They're gonna buy our game no matter what the hell we do, and they don't care. There's so many. Well, hey, like you're seeing it with Ubisoft and a couple other developers. That shit's really biting you in the butt. So you want to keep going down that way. You're gonna get bought up by another company. Your IPs are gonna go to them, and then we don't need to deal with this BS anymore.
Yep. If Assassin's Creed,
what IP we need to bring back from Software is Chrome Hounds, and I'm still having 100%. That. I'm still waving that flag.
I know. I have to write letters to them.
People still talk about it online.
Jeff, I need to. Chrome Hounds is the one with all the robots that you would play all the time back in high school with your Cheeto fingers, wasn't it? With a chat pad.
Right.
You had the chat pad, right?
That Xbox 360 controller was not white for that long.
that was
a great game, man.
That was one of the games that just came out before its time and just didn't get like the adoption. It got US adoption, but it didn't get like Japanese adoption. So like they were like, it's a failure.
The best part of that? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's why they shut it down.
One of my favorite things about that is that we thank everything that we were able to play that before the creation of the party system. So we got to experience the full true game design of the developers. Remember how we had to connect? So they had these nodes of like basically communication.
It was like a tower. It was like a tower, Tony. There was like in the map, there was probably like 15 of these towers, all like strategically placed. And the only way, unless you had a commander bot on your team, the only way you could talk to your party is if you were inside that bubble. And if bubbles touch, like if you open 2 next to each other, then you could talk in that range. But
so it's
if
cool. You would go ahead.
But if you weren't in that bubble, there was no party chat, Tony. You couldn't talk to your team.
Yeah. You'd be in a situation where you need to either destroy all the enemy teams. So it's like classes. So like they have all these different types of things where they specialize. You either need to destroy all of them or you need to destroy the base. So you get into the instance where Jeff and I are playing together, and now he's on the full other side of the map, but I can still talk to him. And he's like, all right, I need to go into radio silence to go attack this base to see if it's theirs. If you don't hear back from me in like 5 minutes, you know I died. There's no way to know if he died.
You don't know if you die unless you see a smoke.
It's fun stuff.
Like depending on the map, the size of the map, it was 3 to 5 bases. And you would choose your base strategically. So to win the game, it was a 20-minute or 15-minute time limit. You either had to destroy the other team's 6 spots that were all human controlled. You had to destroy their base, or if the time ran out, you had to have the most comms. And usually it was always a odd number. So it'd be like 15 comms, 17 comms. That way it could be like 9 and 8 or 8 and 7, right? But then right when the game's life was ending, party chat came out. So it kind of removed that element from it, but you still had to grab the comms, because if you didn't, do one of the 2 objectives, you would lose by not having comms. And it was a live format. Like, it was 3 nations. Each nation had about 10
I
territories.
remember all of that because of how much you guys would play that. And that was just the one game. You used to give me the control all the time, Jeff. Anytime I'd go by, oh, Tony, here, play this. I'm just going around. I'm just getting destroyed because I have no idea what I'm doing. And I just couldn't do it.
You know what the crazy part about that game is, too? It was like, what you were getting hit with at any time. Like, there was free downloadable content of weapons, Tony, and one of them was the Saber sniper rifles, and you can only have like 3 of them on your
and they give you like
mech,
no bullets.
and they gave you like 12 bullets. But if you got hit by one of those, it would instantly destroy whatever hit. Like, if it hit your arm, great, you don't have an arm anymore. Like, it was just one of those. So you would get smacked and everything would be glowing red on your screen because you were like you could either be in the cockpit mode or like third person or whatever, and everything would just be like blaring. And sometimes you get lucky if you had the sabers, and actually, because if you hit their cockpit, that's what actually blows it up. And people would put like armor strategically around their cockpit so you couldn't hit it. But sometimes you get lucky and actually get like the saber rounds would hit it.
What was it really that like poorly received that there's no talks at all?
It didn't land in his home country. It did great in the West, but it did poorly in Japan. So they just stopped doing it.
And it was Sega. It was owned by Sega, so it was like
we
know how they are now.
Yeah, they made the Armored Core franchise. So like the FromSoft, before they made all the Souls games, they were doing all these mech type games. I'm trying to see the development cost of how much Chrome Hounds cost, because I was going to ask you guys, because you know that the ballooning cost of some of the games right now. Obviously,
it probably wasn't that expensive to do Chrome Hounds, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, comparable to current stuff right now, where you're basically gambling, like you saw with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers had a smash hit with what we talked about earlier, the Hogwarts Legacy. It was Game of the Year, tons of revenue, and then they tried to replicate it with the live service game, and it totally bit them in the ass. But they paid like millions upon millions to develop this thing. And then it doesn't work. You lay everybody off. Everybody loses their job, and now you're down in the hole by millions of dollars.
I will say
that's like
they had
all
Wonder
the
Woman
games
coming
now.
too.
Huh?
They had a Wonder Woman game set up.
Wonder Woman game got canceled as well because they can't take the financial risk. The cost of these games are so outrageous.
They have to have like actual home runs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it also limits them from trying to branch out or do anything like experimental. It's too risky. It's not worth the financial risk. So that's why you see certain games I'm going to use Ubisoft. Like Ubisoft, all the games are identical. They're the same game with a different skin, a little bit of a different story. It's what works for them. It's what makes them money. But that's all they're going to do because they can't risk making something random and it flopping, or it not flopping, but it just the content around it that gets released at the same time literally limits its sales and how it fails.
And Tony, just on the Chrome Hounds topic, so like you had to take out the nation's capital for them to die, right? And there was 3 nations, and you picked like a nation that you want to play for. If there were certain parameters that happened around a capital, you would activate their secret weapon.
Yeah.
And that was an achievement, defeating. And the secret weapon was like, one was like a huge train that had like war missiles on it, like an ICBM and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was cool stuff. They had like a giant turtle. One of them is a giant turtle. Yeah, had like things coming out of it, like it would send other things after you.
That's pretty cool. It was just not my cup of tea.
I think you would like it now, though. Like, I think if
Nah,
you
he was
played it
too
now-
busy. He was too busy hiding in boxes and tapping on walls.
Don't you even put Metal Gear in the same conversation there, okay?
Listen,
Metal
I
Gear.
could. I
First
can,
of
I
all,
can.
Tony and I. First
I
of all,
will.
first of all, Tony and I fully completed in a weekend Metal Gear Solid 4 with full cutscenes. So don't even.
Wait. Before you continue, were the eggs real?
I don't even remember. This was so
Dude,
long ago. This is
dude.
like
I'm
2000.
gonna go. I'm gonna say no.
I don't know, dude. Just if you like later on, Jeff, when you get a chance, just
I'll have to look because this was like
You do it.
2008,
a
2009.
long time ago. Those eggs look pretty goddamn real.
We're gonna switch over now to the ranked game,
Let's do it.
and I'm gonna have to real quick. I'm gonna bring it over on this real quick, and then I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see the ranked game. I want screens. Screen 2. Go live. So you guys should be able to see it on Discord now. We did fast food joints last week. This week we're doing fast casual restaurants
Jeff, where did you?
in Discord.
I'm looking.
Tony, do you see it?
Got it.
Nope.
Yep, I already got it. I'm good. I'm just trying not to cover Tony.
It's in Discord. I share the screen in Discord.
Hey, you gotta.
Oh,
click
you
on
just
the-
all right.
yeah.
Screen. All right, I got it. Okay. All right.
So last week we
Oh, classic.
last week we did like McDonald's and stuff like that, like actual
Yep.
fast food restaurants. This week we'll do fast casual.
I'm going.
Some of
Can I
these
go first?
restaurants, I don't think any one of us I put on the never have. I don't think we've had any of these. These are all like West Coast and Southern ones. Before anybody says anything, because this is my game, I get an honorary pick. Applebee's is an automatic A. I don't care what anybody says. Applebee's is an automatic A.
God. Oh wait.
I don't know, dude.
As the
That's
game
tough for me.
master,
You're allowed one bullshit
I'm
call.
allowed
Okay,
one
got
bullshit
it.
call. Yeah, as Applebee's. First of all, you can get dollar margaritas.
Well, because that's tough because I can't put Chili's in the S tier, and Chili's is definitely better than Applebee's.
So this is how we rank it, John, with foods. It's a multiple of things. It's obviously price, right?
Okay.
Quantity.
Jeff likes eating
Tim.
trash.
No, first of all, Applebee's is not trash.
Like
First of
literal piles of garbage is what I
all.
mean.
First of all, Applebee's is nowhere there. Okay, Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's hear our cases on Buffalo Wild Wings on where it should go.
The price is not crazy. Its food's kind of it's all right.
You can get those like
Yeah,
$10 meals that are like fries
they're
and like
cost efficient.
Yeah,
They're okay,
B,
but I
I'd
can't.
say B plus.
Yeah, but see, they're definitely better than Applebee's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, don't I get my honorary pick?
Crazy.
all right.
B. California Pizza Kitchen. I only had it a few times. Foxwoods in
Never had
Vegas. It's actually really good pizza, and I think I would have it. Tony, have you had it in Foxwoods?
No, I've had it once. I forget which mall I was part of that I was
We'll
in.
put it
I've
in
had
B.
it once.
I
Why
am
are we
with
putting it in
John because it's actually really good pizza.
I never had that. California. I ain't even heard of that.
They have one in Foxwoods. They had when we went to Vegas. We had it in Vegas. Like it's
Mm.
a little pricey, but I think it's definitely B tier. Chili's. I think Chili's is an S tier.
Chili's is fire, bro.
The triple dipper, like
The song. it's too hard to not say Chili's.
Tony?
Is best. Tony, we in agreement?
I'd say A.
Huh?
I would say A.
I'd rather do A than S. Because I don't think Chili's is the best.
do you guys
restaurant on the
before
planet.
we go on? Do you see anything on that list that isn't S tier without saying it out loud?
Yes.
That is S tier or that isn't?
So
Yes.
without Chili's, anything on this list, John, that's an S tier, but don't say it out
For
loud.
me personally, yes.
That's not Chili's.
That's not Chili's.
I'm good with an A then. And you know what? Just because of you plebs, I'll put it in front of
Thank you. Thank you.
Chipotle.
Appreciate
I think we can all know where it's going. Like I don't even have
That's
to.
See, See, me personally, I really like Chipotle. I really do.
We had it
Do
last
you?
week.
I do. I really do enjoy
We
Chipotle.
had it last week, and I will say Cordoba's is better.
Yeah, that's not fair. You can't compare, gold to bronze.
You know what? For John's, for the guests,
Yeah, I'll stomach a C.
I was telling
Yeah.
I
Jeff gets a crappy Applebee's up there. John can get Chipotle and C.
Cracker Barrel to me, I like it. Like it's
I-
not.
It's a B. It's a B.
I think
I've
it's a
only had it
solid,
twice.
and it's not like it's not crazy meals,
Yeah,
but it's not like bad. Like I never had a bad experience.
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I think it's
Experience I went we went when Raj won the bingo, so it was free. So it was a pretty good experience.
Hey,
Free food, I'm down.
I know. So Tony, you don't have to speak right now.
Just nah, you have to. Denny's,
Sit there like
Denny's
British.
is what we Denny's is what we measure the shit underneath my boot. That's what we measure Denny up against.
Last week we had Denny's, John, last week, and Denny's was the staple at D. Like everything had to go in front of Denny's at D because Denny's was the worst on the list.
I
Do you
would
have
agree.
any hard feelings about
No,
Denny's?
absolutely not. There's a reason they're
IHOP.
not around here anymore.
IHOP.
IHOP for me is right next to Denny's.
Really?
Terrible
I
value. Absolutely
hate
terrible
eating
value.
there. I hate eating there, bro. The atmosphere,
Coffee sucks.
the line is ridiculous always. Like you totally said, the coffee's trash. You're getting the generic.
So
I
you
don't know.
guys don't order
it
the
just doesn't
steak?
do it for me. Absolutely not.
No. What the hell
Absolutely
orders
not.
this thing at IHOP? Kind of
Literally,
psycho
I
are you?
laughing over here. It's your last meal,
But
buddy.
is it in front? It's in front of Denny's though, right?
Probably.
Yes,
I don't think
yes.
anything can go behind Denny's.
Longhorn.
Longhorn
That's
is
an
pretty
S.
good, but it's expensive.
Yes, I just went there the other day. It's so good.
It really is, but it is.
I had the fillet there. It was so
Their
good.
steaks
And
are
honestly,
really
everything
good.
was good.
And they give you that bread. Oh my god!
Oh,
You know
it was
what?
so
The
good.
bread is
You know what?
fire.
That's
Now
enough.
that you mentioned that bread on the little thing that you have to
Yeah,
cut.
that little wooden thing. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes, I ain't even gonna argue that one.
Okay.
Moe's. I know we
never-
have a Moe's. I don't know if anybody. I didn't put it. I never had. I heard it's good. Never had
Never
it.
had most.
No, we can put it. I never had. Olive Garden has a soft spot for me.
Terrible value though.
It's not a terrible value. Do you go for
That's
lunch?
great.
Lunch is for $9.99.
I haven't.
That's
eaten
true.
an
No,
Olive Garden in years.
hold on. I completely take it back because I honestly get Olive Garden for lunch at work all the time because it's $10.
It's $10.
Yes.
Yes,
So
and it's
How does it make you
unlimited.
both feel that I haven't eaten Olive Garden in like easily like 15 years?
I had it probably 3 weeks ago, and I feel
Like literally probably that long.
you know that song "Hot to Go." HOT. So I was picking up Olive Garden with Chloe the other day, and she goes, "Daddy, that's OGTOGO," because it says Olive Garden to go on it, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, she's got it. The kid's got some moves.
I would say just based on the value alone for lunch, I would put it in A in front of Applebee's.
I'm with you there.
Snick that
I'm
on
with you
there.
there. Outback.
I don't think I've ever had Outback.
Outback
Where's
is
the
pretty
closest
good.
one?
There was
without
one in
paying where we
Dartmouth.
live?
This one's Seekonk.
Yeah.
Definitely not my.
I would say A plus S for me.
Yeah, it's that good.
I've honestly every time I've gone, I've never had a bad steak.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
other people have, but I've
I
never
to
had a
take
bad
breathe. I probably
experience.
have to take breather.
This is gonna be like a left-leaning bell curve over here. I can kind of feel it. Usually there's some distribution on these.
Panera, ugh.
I think it's a C. I think Panera's a C. I don't think it's down there with Denny's and IHOP.
No.
I feel like that's what John prefers to get when he goes on lunch.
What, Panera?
Yeah,
Nah, there's no Panera near me.
with the
Not
grilled
even
cheese
sure-
and tomato soup.
Nah, bro, I don't really eat stuff like that. Like Panera, Brie loves Panera bread, but like whenever she goes, I'll tell her to like get me like like they give you like a pieces of baguette, and I'll like have that for her.
Their bread is good. Their bread
That's
is
all I
good.
get. She gets like the
Oh,
mac and
what-
cheese. She swears by it, but like I don't really get food from there at all.
I'm okay with C.
Yeah, agreed.
Red Lobster.
Never had.
Me neither.
I had it once,
never
and
got
it was really good. And I know they have
You're
that
not
new...
gonna go. Yeah, we're not
No,
gonna
but
eat
there's
it
not one.
at a
There's
Red Robin around here. Like we're literally on the water.
there used to
Did
be
you
one.
use,
seafood place
did you
is
use
better.
the plastic bib?
I don't.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but
They
they
have,
have
like,
that
that
new
plastic, like,
they have
splash
that new
guard.
CEO who's making a lot of good changes. We just don't really have one around us.
Mm.
I don't want to give it a DFC ranking just because.
Put it
'Cause I
in the
think
never had then.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do because I feel
Same.
like it is a. I think it is between a B and an S somewhere, but I don't want to like not rank it right. Red Robin,
I really do like Red Ramen. I gotta go
bottomless
probably A.
fries.
Probably A, looking at the tier list right now. I would definitely put it above Wild
I
Wings.
do like their garlic fries.
Mm.
Like I think it's what garlic parmesan. Those are pretty good. I'd say A
Yeah.
in
Where
front of
in A?
Applebee's and Olive Garden, right in the middle. Is what I would say.
Ruby
You put
Tuesdays.
you put Red Robin over Olive Garden?
Yes.
I wouldn't have expected that from you.
See, I'm giving this as one of
I
Tony's
like my
freebie.
burgers.
Yeah, I think so. Jeff's
This
like,
is one of Tony's freebie because I think
really?
Olive Garden's probably better than Red Robin as a. I mean, value though, you can have bottomless fries, so you should never leave Red Robin.
Yeah,
hungry. Same thing with
full.
Olive
Just
Garden.
bringing them home.
Yeah.
Like even Olive Garden, like I'm like it's impossible to leave Olive Garden like hungry still because they just give you 17 breadsticks when you like sit at the table.
Yeah. Every time I go to Olive Garden, I end up bringing food home, putting it in the fridge, and then throwing it out 2 days later.
100%.
The
100%.
classic. I hate when we go out to eat and Anna's like, I'm gonna take this home, and I'm like, we're not gonna eat it. So then it sits in there until it's trash day, and then
at least at least you don't deal with the classic. Hey, can we get a box? Let's box this up. I tell my kid, hey, don't forget your box of food, and then she leaves it on the table.
So I wanna give it out. So last time I did get Olive Garden was on Valentine's Day. We brought it home so the girls can eat it. Now I ordered it at like 5:30, I think, and they were like, "It'll be ready by 6:00, right? 6:10." That's the notification I got. I pull up there at 6:00. It's 6:45. So now it's already an hour, and I understand it's Valentine's Day, but like this is something that like you should prepare for as a restaurant. I called them. I'm like, "Hey, where's my order?" Because I'm in like the to-go parking, and they're like, "We'll let the back end know, like the cooks." And then like another 10 minutes go, and I'm with Chloe too, and she's like bored as hell because now we just sat in a parking lot now for like 45 minutes, and this is like I ordered it at 5:30. We got there at 6, and now it's already like 6:45. So it's been an hour and 15 minutes for Olive Garden, which is pasta. I get in there, and there's a line of like probably 20 people standing there for to-go orders, and the place is mobbed. The girl, so some guy was like, "Get your manager and cancel my order." Like I'm just like, the manager came out and was like, "If it's being cooked right now, I can't cancel your order."
Yeah, you can, or charge back on your card. Like,
So like a bunch of people are like, "We're gonna cancel," and I was like, "What?" And then they brought out like 6 things like 10 minutes later, and one of them was mine. So it took almost 2 hours to get four pasta dishes, and mine was the chicken and shrimp carbonara, I think it was, and I got home and there was no shrimp on it. So I waited 2 hours, and
honestly, you're kind of talking me into putting that behind Applebee's.
But this was a holiday though. This is not a normal occurrence, just the holiday.
That's a bad experience though.
Yeah.
Like, something like that is where I wouldn't go back though. Like an experience that bad, if I'm wasting 2 full hours, I'll probably literally never eat there again.
Yeah, but I like trauma, so I'll be back.
The Stockholm syndrome over here with Olive Garden.
I know one closed near us, but I always thought it was decent.
It's been way too long since we tried that. That's been closed for years now.
I think it's a C.
Yeah, I think that's got to be C or D because all I know is that the one we had close by, anytime you would eat there was a chance for a car accident through the window. And so just that has to put it pretty far down.
That's why I want the Golden
So
Creek
I
fan.
will. So right off rip, I think TJ Fry. They're going bankrupt right now, but I will say
I got
their Jack Daniels burgers with that Jack Daniels sauce was
pretty good.
fire. But
Mhm.
I'm not gonna rate it just because they're going out of business. But
Why? I
it'd be
shit on them even more. They're terrible.
yeah, but to me it'd be a B. But I only ordered one thing from there though. It was the Jack Daniels brand. Yeah, because that Jack Daniels sauce was fire.
So last time I went to Fridays, I will never forget. It was at the one that closed down in Taunton. We walked in. There was about 4 or 5 of us. We all walk in. Place is empty, and it's still like 2 hours before closing. The waitress looked at us, goes, "Okay, just follow me." Puts us in the back corner, away from as far away as you can get, by the bathroom door, like the booth right near the bathroom door. And there was no light at the table we were at, so we're in the dark, and we're just like, "Is this a joke? There's no one else here." And so we literally got up and left. We're like, "We're not doing this."
Yeah, I had a similar experience yesterday. I went to go bring Anna food at work, and I wanted a coffee. So I'm near the Honeydew in the north end near Parraffas.
Yeah.
I look on my phone, and it says they close soon at 7, and it's 6:40, right? So it's 20 minutes. I was just getting a coffee. I pull up to the speaker, they don't answer. I pull up to the window, and all the lights are off, and a girl's cleaning. And I'm like, so we just close about half an hour early? Is this what we're I was like, are you open? She was like, nope. I'm like, I didn't tell Anna that because she like has the like when she worked there, she has like we have their bosses on Facebook and their number. Like if like all she had to do was like text their bosses that like, hey, like your people are closing half an hour early, and they're Portuguese. They would have flipped.
See, like that's where you're a better person than I am because I would have blown up their spot immediately.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll tell. Maybe I'll tell Anna about it. I know she ain't gonna listen to this.
So for the next one, I know if we had your brother here, Jeff,
it's an S tier.
Would be an S tier just because of the bread alone.
What from Fridays?
No,
for Texas
Roadhouse.
Okay.
I still think it might be an S tier.
I can't. As soon as they took away the peanuts,
they didn't. No, they got them back.
You can get them.
They're still there, but you can't throw them on the ground.
You just can't eat it and have it all the dust everywhere.
John was like peasants.
Like, throw them everywhere. No, I don't know. I just feel like Bree likes it too much, so it's like one of those places where it's like I am so sick and tired of wanting to go there that like.
But take a step back though. Like I like their country fried chicken, fire. I like their bread, fire. Their steaks are pretty good, and their burgers are good.
Yeah, no, they have good food.
I would put an S. I would do it. I'd put an S.
I don't know, man. You're putting that one up there. The only other one we got up there is Longhorn. You put that as quality as Longhorn? Absolutely not.
No, it's not.
It's not Longhorn. It's not.
It's not. It's an A+.
You could put it at A. You could definitely put it at A.
Yeah.
It's like up there with Chili's and Red Robin.
I think it's at the top.
Put a gourmet steak place, and then adjacent to it, you get the franchise steak place.
Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory, side note, loses money every time you order there. They lose money every time you order from them. They're like really bad.
I believe every single restaurant you go to that has a menu that large, it's always garbage. Correct me if I'm wrong. Any restaurant with a fairly large menu is it good?
I think, but to me, I think it's better than Chipotle, and it's probably right around the Cracker Barrel.
Agreed. Agreed. It's definitely better than Panera and and Chipotle.
Oh yeah. It's not a C or D. It's definitely like to me, I'd still put it in front of Cracker Barrel. So like, I agree with that. That's fine. I've never had the next one.
It's still in the same tier,
yeah.
And last but not least, Waffle House.
I've
never had it.
It's okay. I think it's on the C level. I think it's definitely better than IHOP. But like they're in the traps, you know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of watch out. I think this was a good recording today.
Can I just before you? I gotta say it. There's no way Applebee's is an A. There's no way.
Applebee's is an A. Calm down.
My God, no way.
Yeah, but the way we set this up, you would put what above Applebee's? What if you had to switch Applebee's with any of the B,
Yep.
C, D, or T?
I would put it in front of the B. It'd be in front of the B category.
Yeah, no.
I would-
if
I
you
would-
had to
I
switch,
would
if you had to
swap.
swap. What would you swap with that?
I would swap Buffalo Wild Wings.
With Applebee's.
No.
Yep.
No.
You put I don't know. You put Buffalo Wild Wings with Chili's and Red Robin. I don't.
But
I also don't put
though?
Applebee's in A. I'll put Applebee's with the B tier, personally. Only because every time I go there, I'm there forever. I'm there forever when you go there, like hours. It's ridiculous.
What, at Buffalo Wild Wings?
No. Applebee's, dude. Applebee's in Dartmouth, bro. You go there, you better believe you're sitting there for an hour and a half. You're not going anywhere. You're not getting your food either. You're just gonna sit there and leave angry.
But you had $6 Ritas, so
That's
it's
what
like
I leave anyway, even after eating.
Oh man.
awesome. Tony, take us away.
So thanks everyone for listening. Do the usual. Follow us, like us. Glad to have you, John. Jeff, you're always on, so I don't have to say anything to you. Until next time.